Alright guys, we are going to begin adding and subtracting with 3-digit and maybe even get into some 4-digit numbers. So I am going to today teach you some different strategies of how to add 3-digit numbers. And the first strategy I'm going to show you is using expanded form to add. This strategy I love to use when I do mental math. When I don't have any paper and I just have to do it in my head. For me, I personally use this strategy a lot when I do a lot of math in my head. And basically what you're doing in this method is you are expanding each number into expanded form into the sum of all the place values. So remember back to expanded form. You would take these numbers and expand them. So 146 would become 100 plus 40 plus 6. Then 357 would expand into 300 plus 50 plus 7. There are the two expanded form versions. Now I can add each place value. I can add the ones together, the tens together, and then the hundreds. And then I'll have to shrink that back down. And I'll show you what I mean. So first I start with my ones, and I have 6 plus 7 equals 13. Okay, then I have 40 plus 50 gives me 90. And then I have 100 plus 300, and that gives me 400. But now I have to take, now this bottom line here, I got to add them all back together to get my final answer. I can't just leave it like that. Okay, so what I would do is I would add 90 plus 13, and that's going to give me 103. Then I take my 103 and I add it into 400. 400 plus 103 is going to give me a 503. So 146 plus 357 would be 503. I'm going to show you that again, this time with regrouping. Well, that was with regrouping as well. But I'm going to show you again the expanded form way of adding numbers. So I have 236 plus 483. And so again, I'm going to expand each number. So the first one becomes 200 plus 30 plus 6. And my bottom one expands into 400 plus 80 plus 3. Then I can go ahead and add them together. 6 plus 3 is 9. 30 plus 80 is 110. 200 and 400 will give me 600. Then I just have to add all these together. So 110 plus 9 is going to give me 119. Then I go ahead and I add in the 600, and it's going to give me, oops, not 600, it's going to give me 719. So 236 plus 483 is 719. Now here's the method. This is what we call the standard algorithm. And that's when we basically do the same thing without I'll show you what I mean. And that's basically you take 134 plus 242. Okay? And now basically I just add the digits and the place value together. For instance, I start with my ones and I say 4 ones, 2 ones gives me 6 ones, 3 tens and 4 tens gives me 7 tens, and then 100 and 200 gives me 300. 134 plus 242 is 376. That's the standard algorithm. Now there are some things I have to do um, with the standard algorithm when I need to regroup. And what I mean by regrouping is that when I add my ones place or my tens place or even my hundreds place, and I add those two digits together and they add up to 10 or more, I need to regroup because I can only have one digit in each place value. And I'll show you what I mean. So I have 367 and I'm adding it to 158. So first I start with my ones, and 7 plus 8 gives me 15. Okay, I'm sticking this over here for 1 minute. Because see, when I'm writing my answer underneath, I can only have one digit in each place value. 7 plus 8 is 15, and it has two digits. So what I do is I take my 5, I put that, since it's in the ones place, I go ahead and I put that into the ones place. Okay, and then my 10, which is a 1, I go ahead and I regroup it into my tens place, and I still add it into my tens place. So now I have 1 10 plus 6 10 plus 5 tens is going to give me 12 tens. And again, this is 10 or more, so I need to regroup once again. And this is showing me that I have 12 tens. So I take my 2 and I stick it down here in my answer, and I take this the 1 that represents 10 tens, and remember I can regroup 10 tens for 100, so I stick that 1 into my hundreds place and I regroup for 100. So now I have 100 plus 300 plus 100, and it'll give me 500. 525. If I do not remember to regroup, then I'm going to get answers that are just not close to being correct. Regrouping is very, very important, and we'll practice this more in class. Now the last method I want to show you is called the partial sums method, and I really like this. It's a real quick way to add, I believe. Let's just say we have 276 plus 349. Basically what I do is I just go ahead and again I start in my ones place and I move to my left to my hundreds, but I just take whatever I'm adding and I put it below my addition sentence. So I start with ones, and I'll show what I mean. 6 plus 9 is going to give me 15. So in the number 15, I have to remember that the 5, I have the 5 is in the ones place. So I put 5 down here, and it gives me 15. So now I go over here, and this is where place value comes important, because I don't just say 7 plus 4, but 70 plus 40 is going to be 110. So then I write that down, and I make sure I put my 100 in my hundreds place, my 10 in my tens place, and then that 0 goes into my ones place. I have to make sure I line up my digits in their correct place value. 70 plus 40 was 110, so I line that up correctly down below. Then I go to my hundreds. 200 plus 300 is 500. I don't want to stick the 5 down here because I'm saying it's 500. My 5 in this answer needs to go into the hundreds place. Okay, so it'd be sticking down here with the 2 zeros. It's 500. Then I can just add all these up down below. 5 plus 2 zeros is 5. Then I have 110 plus 110 gives me 2 tens. Then I have 100 and 500 gives me 600. 625. So 276 plus 349 is going to be 625. It looks like a little bit longer way of getting around this, but if you have trouble with the regrouping in the standard algorithm, this is a great way to make sure you're doing it correctly. And again, I'll show you this one more time. let's say we have 483 plus 247. Okay, so again I start my ones, 3 ones plus 7 ones gives me 10 ones, or the number 10. But so the 0 goes in the ones place and my 1 goes in my tens place. Then remember, I got to think 80 plus 40, not 8 plus 4, but 80 plus 40 is 120. And it's key to remember to put that 100 into the 100s place. You don't want to stick it. You don't want to make this mistake here and say, okay, you don't want to make this mistake and say 8 plus 4 is 12, because then when you add it, you're going to have the wrong answer. You want to make sure that you're saying 80 plus 40 is 120. Okay? And then you go to your hundreds. 400 and 200 is going to give me 600. I add these all up and it's going to give me 0. Let's extend this. So it's going to give me 0, 110 and 2 10s, that's 3 10s. 100 and 600 would be 730. So 730 is my answer. So those are a few strategies that we're going to be practicing and going over in class. Use any strategy that helps you solve the answer the best way you can. Alright, thanks.